Alright, hello everybody. Hi. My name is Samantha Summers and welcome back to another episode of Hiveswap Friendsim. And now, since we have been doing so good after a terrible streak, after a terrible start, we have finally got off to a good start. Not start. We've gotten off to a good middle. Oh, excuse you. We are, I don't want to read this. I don't want to read that. Alright, we are going to be getting this bronze blood. We did, okay, he looks a little crazy. Look at him. It's like, yes, science. I don't know, he looks like a pilot. I think he's a pilot. But we're gonna be getting with Vikare. Let's call him Vikare. Yeah, we're gonna be getting with Vikare. He's gonna be our new best friend. So, let's get it. Alright. Ooh. Oh, we're at the home screen. It's probably best for you to stop trying to predict what's going to happen to you at this point. Everything that's happened so far on this planet has been kind of chaotic. In fact, you're ready for something more familiar. You head back to the site of your abandoned spaceship. Sure, it's smashed beyond repair, but it's a little slice of home. Is he gonna be in it? That'd be a little weird. Could he fix it though? Maybe at least one or two pieces of it are fixable. You march off in what you think is the right direction. But when you get there, you're not alone. A little guy in a hat and big goggles is standing there, staring at your spaceship, maybe assessing it. As you watch, he breaks off a couple of gears and stuffs them in his pocket. Excuse you, sir, those are mine. Hey! You clear your throat loudly. What voice do I think of this guy? Good galloping gravy! Why, I've never seen the likes of you before. What strange wonders the heavens have rained down upon us today. He's weird. He's weird. You quickly lose any indignation you were building up. He's smiling at you. His words seem at least somewhat amicable. Whatever. Maybe you got this all wrong. Maybe this is the next person you're going to get chummy with. You got right to the chase. No point in beating around the ground leaf covering. That's probably what they call it on this planet. My goodness, this is loud. You let this guy know you're the proprietor of this spaceship he's stripping, and you're in mighty need of a new friend. A friend, eh? A bosom companion, a pal about town. Tommen. I've seen nary a Tommen, Dickus, or Harry around these parts who might fit the bill. Okay. He's just kinda whoosh. You were kinda trying to imply that this guy could be your new friend. Is it too late to say that now? You try to imply it with your eyebrows. As for me, day-to-day matters here on Alternia interest me not. For I care about hurtling at great speeds through the boundless expanse of the cosmos. That's right, space. It is space light that consumes my every waking thought and all my adore. Okay, you should have been born a yellow blood for that. In accordance with my duty as a future Alternian crusader, of course. No oxygen, no wind, a total vacuum. That's the life for me, alright. Flying in space, above the atmosphere, not within the realm of gravity's purview. Wouldn't have it any other way. Right. You get the feeling you're missing something. This guy seems really defensive about his interest in spaceflight. Like, maybe he's trying to say something totally different. Whatever it is, his internal conflict clearly takes precedence over your issues. He seems like a great candidate for a friend, despite the fact that his voice sounds like it belongs over a newsreel about World War II. I don't know if that's portraying that. I have just one query for you, sport, if I may be so bold. Do you also like spaceflight? Do you yearn to see the moon shining above, the clouds whipping by as you chase and tease the impish western wind? And then keep going past that, up into space? I'd love it if it'd get me off this planet. I think I kind of have to go with this one for now. He kind of just like, ooh. So even if I'm lying, I'll totally lie. Well then, we're in agreement. Two kindred souls traveling hand in hand into a glorious yet uninevitable future of conscripted service in space, which is, as I've already made clear, the thing I most definitely and positively desire. So it seems we have nothing more to discuss. Look at that face. It's like, Doodaloo! Oh. Oh, I was wrong. Toodaloo. Okay, so I guess I need to, right. Alright, let's try that again, cause, wow. I can't believe I messed up the streak. Oh my goodness. Yes, all this words. I already read that. Creepy guy. I thought he was gonna be like, yeah, let's go to space together and be best friends, and no. He's just like, whatever. Like, whatever. Broke my heart. But I guess I have to tell him that I'm not so sure about spaceflight. And then he's gonna be like, dude. And tell me all about it or something. Ooh. I should have known. Oh my goodness, I should have known. Why didn't I know? He's a guy who likes to talk. He's a smarty pants guy who likes to talk about things that he likes. Like, I get it, okay? My goodness, oh my goodness, I'm so dumb. He's one of them geniuses who talks about so much stuff. He's a space genius. I was wrong. His eyes widen. You see them sparkle. Ah, I see. Wink. How can I see his eyes through there? You're an individual with a more, oh my goodness, you're an individual with a more sophisticated palate. A real connoisseur of the buoyant arts you are. I don't like where this is going. Someone like you can never be satisfied with a anemic affair of traveling through the inky blackness of the galaxies. I believe a jaunt to my hive is in order. Let us get a wiggle on. Oh, gonna get some wiggle on. There was a lot going on there, but you understand that he wants you to follow him. Ooh, that is a killer hive. You're never gonna get any flooding in that hive. How is that where my mind goes? If the world floods, he's fine. That's my first thought. The friendly guy takes you to a building where all the rooms seem to be balanced on spindly looking stilts. The hive soars above you into the sky. Okay, so I knew everyone else's name without them telling me, but this guy, I just, like, nope. Boo! Don't even care. He gestures to a little platform attached to a pulley system. It's like a rudimentary elevator. It brings you up into a small dark room. What? Dude, I love this space aesthetic. I love it. I love it. I'm a little stunned. I kind of love it. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just love it. My favorite constellation is Orion. Yeah, that's my favorite. I just love all the stars in general, but Orion is my favorite. I like the symmetry of it, and I like how it tells when winter's coming. If you didn't know when winter was coming. But go ahead and tell me what your favorite constellation is down in the comments. I would love to know how many favorites there are. Let's get this. His house is pretty much what you would have guessed. The walls are covered in star maps and pictures of spaceships. And spaceships? My kinda. You notice that many of them have a cheery slogan splashed across them, saying things like, explore the galaxies, because you're required to fulfill your duty to society, and enlist, travel, make friends, don't get cold. How can I read that? I wasn't able to read that last time. Your new friend doesn't seem too happy as he looks around the place. Aww. Does he not like space? Just the height for a dedicated spacecraft enthusiast, isn't it? You nod. You're not sure what this is leading to, but no one ever went wrong relying on non-specific and plausible deniable agreement. Who am I fooling? You rumbled me. Potential new chum. What you see before you is a collage of falsehoods. I'm nothing but an aviator of baloney. In truth, the myriad temptations and desires, oh my goodness, and desires of space do nothing to tickle my biscuit. Oh boy. The thought of participating in the glorious eternal conquest gives me the screamy mimmies. Ugh. My interests lie in something a little lower down. He reaches up and peels back one of the posters. Behind it is another poster. This one is showing a view of the clouds in the night sky. Behold, my shame! The truth is, I long to toss and turn within the grasp of Mistress Gravity's sweet fingers. To traverse the sky, can such a thing be? Imagine flying within the confines of Alternia's very atmosphere. Defying the very conventions of what we all know to be true. Instead of down, up. Instead of falling, soaring. Can you imagine? Can you see it before you? Could you ever dream of the existence of such a flying machine? I was wrong earlier. Oh my goodness. Okay. I want to tell him about airplanes, but I was wrong earlier. This guy is a conundrum. Okay, so here's the thing. I want to tell him about airplanes. So clearly, that's the wrong choice. So, I'm gonna say I've never heard of such a thing. What? But the future is ours to build, my strange-hued and unhorned comrade. What do you think? Does it excite you? Do my ideals rattle your buttons? Ooh. You can't help but notice he's referred to you as chum and comrade, but friend hasn't made an appearance yet. Do synonyms count? Or is this just a tick of his speaking style? You look as earnest as you can and nod vigorously. You're almost positive this is the thing he really wants you to express interest in. Ah, the truth will out. I don't know what that means. You and I share this furtive passion of the indulgences of the air. A dialogue between Troll, a flying machine, and the stars. But further away from the stars than we would be in a spaceship. I cannot stress enough how different of a thing this is. You can't decide between nodding and shaking your head. Here, so you furrow your brow and do your best to look thoughtful. Like maybe you're contemplating the differences. This fellow's demeanor towards you is definitely shady into the more temperate climate zones. However, certain physical needs are starting to assert themselves. You're still pretty banged up from your previous adventures, but right now the aching for your stomach is screaming for attention. I just had a pancake yesterday, okay? I had a pancake. You humbly ask your friend to be if there might be any chance of getting a bite to eat. But of course! Why, if I'd known you had a rumbling in the old digestion bladder, I would have shut my yapper tooth sweep. Time for a good old nosh. A yummaroony wahoo. Now, how should we obtain the victuals? We could venture into the great unknown, which to say, out of my hive. Or we could stay here, beholden to whatever twists and turns Lady Fate has in store for us in the nutrition block. Shouldn't you know what's in your fridge? Shouldn't you know? What you say, old timer? Oh boy, this is the first 3-question thing I've ever had. What? Okay. Okay. We're back. Here we are. We're just gonna go out and get something to eat. From your budding chum's words, it sounds like he himself isn't sure if there's any food in the house. Best to risk it and go outside, you tell him. You tell him your decision. Top choice, buckaroo. Foraging is how I while away most of my time, after all. There's just one small matter to trouble the old brain power. If we're venturing out into the unknown yonder, we should obtain some chow for my Lucis as well. He'll be a real grumpy Gustav if he goes too long without his nosh. You draw yourself up proudly. It's taken a lot of bizarre run-ins and harrowed close shaves, but you know all about Lucises. You inquire about Gustav, was it? Oh, what a card you are. No, my Lucis. I call him the Canary. Ooh, I want to see it. He whips out a photo. It shows a smaller version of himself. His horns, nothing but stubs. A far too big pair of aviator goggles slipping off his nose. Standing behind him is a large white fowl, big scraggly wings folded behind his body, back against his body. You want to say an emu? Whatever it is, it's definitely not a canary. Its beak touches the top of your pal's head with something that might count as affection. He's not a persnickety sort. All kinds of bugs and leaves will tickle his fancy. Shall we away? Shall we greet the horizon that rushes forwards to meet us with astounding grace? Shall we give ourselves over to the current of time's great river? Oh my goodness, this boy could not talk anymore. Sure, you tell him. You can leave the house. It's getting a lot easier to pay attention to only the words this guy says that actually make sense. You kind of enjoy his way of speaking though. If nothing else, it gives you the feeling that he's really excited about this food quest you're going on together. And we're outside. Your alien pal leads you back down through the pulley system and outside again. The trip is not so easy on your bruised ribs. The thing about walking is, when you walk, your body moves. I don't know if you knew that, but walking means movement. It's kinda crazy. You've had better times, is all you're saying. You indicate as much to your companion. Oh boy, I hear ya. Moving while attached to Alternia's surface, the worst kind of hooey. The moment when autonomous flight is invented trembles ever closer to the present. Can you hear it approach? The wail of distant klaxon? The call to adventure? It beckons us forward through the years, a golden thread stretching ever onward in that glorious inevitability. That's not what you meant, but his excitement cheers you up a little. Maybe you will feel better in the future when someone invents flight on this planet. Certainly by that time you'll either be further along your healing or dead. Either way, thinking about the future brings a little rosy glow to your heart. You ask your buddy where you're going next. The world is our bivalvular oyster. The world is our bivalvular sea critter. We'll go wherever the wind calls our names. Great! But if it's a short-term answer you're inquiring after, there's a specific plant the canary likes to eat. And it's got white petals and leaves as red as a troll's most lurid desires. Could you give a holler? Could you give a holler if your bulbs fall on something of that persuasion? You agree to keep your eye out. You continue trudging along beside him, wincing whenever your step jolts your injuries. Maybe a little conversation will help distract you. You ask your new friend what's got him so interested in flying in the first place. What could be better? Up there, free of worldly concerns, the wind in your face and the horizon at your back. Seeing the continents spread out below, finally feeling that your personal aesthetic is appropriate for the given circumstances. You chew on this one for a minute or two. It seems like what really makes this guy tick is the travel and adventure thing. Maybe that's just what you're getting from his general demeanor, and pretty much everything he's said up until now. You're nervous to bring up anything that might make him dislike you, but in the interest of bonding, you forge ahead. Aren't there, you say with apprehension, maybe some similarities between flying and space travel? Like, maybe being in a spaceship could satisfy some of these urges? What? There may be some superficial similarities to trick the common troll, but in essence, the blood pusher and the soul of each are as different as night and day. As a mountain in a ditch, a star in a mud puddle. Don't get a fellow wrong, space travel is fine. Yeah, it's just a mud puddle. Compared to a star, well, it's the only way to satisfy our bloodthirsty and nearly immortal overlords. And I look forward to such a time when I can be of service, as the eternal millstone grind of intergalactic conquest, but is missing the punch, the pizzazz, the kaboom, the trunk beast honk of it all. Just as you feared, you stepped in it now. You're struggling for a response when out of the corner of your eye you spot a cluster of white flowers. Wow, I'm glad I did not have to go trembling down that road. Relieved, you point them out to your companion, who braces over to gather them, but when he holds one up, you can see it has blue leaves, not red. Your shoulders droop. Seems like all you're doing is disappointing your buddy, who has been so nice to you. Or at least that's what you think you've read between the lines of his confusing speaking style. Fear not, my smooth-headed compatriot. These are not the loosest rations we sought, but this plant is people chow. What I mean to say is we can eat it. Since we are people, it's food for people, not food made of people, to be clear. He comes back with a fistful of the flowers and hands you one of the blue leaves. You're not at all sure it's food that's safe for your buddy will be safe for you as well. But at this point you don't have much to lose. Besides, with the way your stomach is groaning, it might as well be perfectly seared steak. Perfectly seared steak. You put it in your mouth. Chewing on the leaf, you feel even more affection towards this guy than before. You are worried this trip has just turned into an excuse for him to run some sort of household errand, but he really did find you something to eat. You were desperate to find a way to show him that you understand his interests and want to connect with him on a deep soul level. Anything to get him to look at you with that treasure glow of friendship in his eyes. Whenever he mentions space travel, he talks about how it's something that he has to do, like some kind of necessary obligation. So maybe there's a reason he's fixed on an activity that is kind of similar, but just a little different. Maybe he doesn't want to do the required thing, the space conquest, but doesn't have it in him to rebel entirely all the way. Maybe airplane flight or whatever similar thing he is envisioning is a compromise between what he has to do and what he wants to do. A balance, like all must find in order to live in as an individual in a society that shapes one's desires from birth. You cautiously open your mouth, heart pounding. You venture to ask your new pal if he maybe would not rather satisfy the demands of the bloodthirsty overlords. If maybe a part of him wants to get into his flying machine and, leave for real. He seems taken aback. Maybe you should never have said it. What a huge mistake. You've probably pushed his friendship out of your reach for good now. Panicking, you point to the side, yelling that you see a big field of white flowers in the direction. Your potential friend leaps into action, seemingly also glad to be given a reason not to answer this question. He races forward in the direction you indicated. Oh boy. In a matter of seconds, there's a yelp, and your new acquaintance vanishes. Instantly, you realize your error. You didn't look where you were pointing. While walking, you unwittingly came close to the edge of a large cliff, which your companion has now disappeared over. Great! I killed someone else! You race to the side, your stomach flooding with fear. This is absolutely the opposite of what you wanted. You look down in horror. Your friend now looks approximately how you felt when you first crash-landed on this dark planet. He's conscious. His face is frozen in shock. But one leg is he's broken. But one leg is twisted underneath him in a nasty way. Oh. You may not be familiar with his alien anatomy, but you're almost positive that it shouldn't look like that. You call out to him in distress, sure he's going to castigate you for your mistake. The strangeness of his language won't make it hurt any less to lose this guy's trust forever. What ho! Kalu Kale! His voice floats up from the ground below, weak but somewhat jovial. Is it possible he's not angry? Oh, joy is happening! Your brow! Oh, delight for the body and spirit! Did you see? Did your being absorb what occurred before your very visage? I flew! Soared through the air! Just for a moment, but it happened. In ecstasy, like none I've ever known. This doobie cry. You hesitate. Is it really possible that he could be taking this so well? Maybe your big mess up was a step in the right direction after all. It's definitely a little worrying to hear him celebrate a dangerous fall. But none of that matters if you can secure his friendship at last. My strange associate, come down here! We will celebrate in grand fashion this eve. How did you know? That brief sojourn through unfettered air would bring me such joy. You're a fine fellow, and truly a superb friend. Your heart lifts with joy. He said it. Of course, you know you have to find a way to climb down the cliff with your messed up ribs, not to mention figure out how to transport someone with a broken leg back to the house. Oh boy. You're not really sure if that's possible, or when the adrenaline that's got you this far will give out and force you to succumb to your own pain. But with a night full of difficulties ahead of you, you couldn't ask for a better balm than knowing you'll face them hand in hand with your friend. Assuming he didn't hurt his hand as well. No matter, you did it. Oh, that is so broken. I can't believe. Okay, well that didn't go as well as I initially hoped with my, oh boy. I thought my cat was gonna fall off her tree. That didn't go as well as I'd hoped in the beginning of this this little adventure, but we ended out on top and we didn't kill anybody. So I think that's a win in our favor. That's oh yeah. Well, oh, he's broken his horn too. Oh, he's broken his horn. Wow. He's broken his horn and his glasses and his leg. I did that. And we could have put a cushion there. We could have put one of your rustbacoons down there. You could have just, but no. No. Oh, I feel so bad. I feel so bad. I feel so bad. Oh, look at me. Look at me over there. I'm so nervous. Just like, yeah, hey. Oh well. Oh well. I mean, I guess we won in the end. We won. That's it. We got ourselves a new friend. Didn't kill anyone. That's really all I could hope for. That's really all that could be hoped for. So, I guess that leaves us at the end. Well, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.